Bonjour and hello, everybody. You are listening to Worldwide Tea. It is the international drag race podcast where every single week we talk about all things going on in the world of drag race. And in this case, it basically includes the US. It's the only thing that's running right now, but we still have updates. We are on the cusp of our busy season because we've taken a little bit of a break. We've done some fun stuff, but it's about to pick up in a big way very, very soon. And the people who are going to be doing the picking up are the same people that you always know. First off, it's me. I'm Evan Sadi. You might know me from Pop Matters.
I'm Gregory Elwood from the playlist.
And guess what, y'all? It's a very interesting time. We recently, for those who have been following along, season 17 is about to end. I think it's officially the highest viewed season already, if I'm not mistaken, if numbers have come out, at least from the premiere.
No.
Maybe?
Television ratings are so interesting these days.
Yes.
And basically what they're claiming, which is true, it's a fact, is that in the 18 to 34 demo, this season of Drag Race is the highest that it's been in, I think, 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's, in considering the shrinkage of cable television and network television in general, that is super impressive. It's not the most watched, though. Like, it's last season, I think, actually had more viewers. But in the demo, which advertisers in theory in this economy still care about, we'll find out soon. That's a big thing. And listen, this past episode, we had a Starbucks sponsorship for the winner. So maybe it does matter. Maybe it's good news.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? It was very interesting because it was an episode in which it was the Lollapalooza as always. It was a very interesting one. Some unexpected turns happened over there. Greg finding out that Charlie XCX's 360 was one of the songs picked, did some investigation and had to hear it live at Coachella just to make sure that the mix was something up. And I think it worked out okay from what I understand. Yeah.
It did. There were no queens showed up, although there were queens on site.
Yes.
I Violet and God Mix raced by me. I saw Aquaria's hair in person. Her new boy cut, which is Aquaria, I love you. Please fix this. It's just not like if my friend I get it. You want to rebel and do something different and edgy. It is not flattering. It's just not. And then Trixie performed at the Do Lab.
Yeah.
And also Do Lab, just for people know, it's a separate sort of stage as of one of the many stages at Coachella. It's run by an outside group. It's not really run by Golden Voice. So I mean, they work with Golden Voice, but it's booked by a different agency. And one of the artists complained that they weren't being paid and that DJs weren't being paid. It was all about exposure. So I hope that Trixie was paid, but no matter what, she made history by doing it. She had a massive crowd, and she also did it in about probably 98 degrees in the heat when she did it in full drag. And seriously, like that is fucking hard as hell. I actually saw her the day before at the Hacks did this House of Vance pop-up thing, which was super cool. They probably should have done it on Saturday. Because people were still driving in. It probably could have been more crowd. I mean, I think a lot of people RSVP'd and then they just didn't show.
Right.
But it was super cool, and they had Trixie there, who's connected to them because it's Warner Brothers Discovery, and Trixie's motel shows were with Warner Brothers Discovery. And they actually did this setup so that she was in like a door, like like the AC from like the inside, like she was like standing in a doorway where they brought the DJ table up so that the AC would be on her from behind, so she wouldn't melt like in the sun. But she was even still hot then. But full glam, looked amazing. She got paid her rate. Like
Yeah.
David
You're
Zaslav.
right now. Now all of a sudden, like those pink solid disco tickets make a lot more sense in
Yes.
price value as you see it here. I also just let
But
Greg know that in our absence, Baby No Money, the meme-based rapper who's had a couple of viral hits, he performed at the Junos, won a Juno Award, and during his performance had on a variety of Canadian queens out there, including Priyanka and Tiffany and Co. and Vivian Vanderpuss and Xana and a couple other local girls over there, which I thought was really, really cool. We love seeing that over there. But the big news is that, as always, as the years previous have been, they're really careful about hedging their bets about announcing anything related to All Stars, really until the US season is properly done. The one thing that has been officially confirmed is that there is going to be a premiere date in May for All Stars 10, and they confirmed the insane format that they are doing. Greg has a little bit more details about that if we can get into it potentially.
Yeah, we totally can. The format is pretty easy. Like I people should not think it's complicated. There are 18 queens. They are broken up into 3 brackets, just like the March Madness tournament that your boyfriend, brother, girlfriend, mom, dad, if you don't watch sports, pays attention to. It's really simple. If millions of people with different sports can follow this, so can you. So the 18 queens are broken up into 6 groups. Only 3 out of each group will make it to the final rounds. So each each group will have 3 episodes. And in those 3 episodes, which we will learn later on, they get judged on ranking. So no one's eliminated. They get to be in all 3 episodes, but they get points based on how they do in the judging and if they win a lip sync. Like it's a lip sync for your legacy sort of format. Nobody gets no one's trying to survive at the end to make it to the next episode. But there is a twist, which I will not give away, that could affect who those top 3 are at the 3rd episode. And
Not
then
the
also
Double Diamond Award, I'll tell you that much.
not the no Golden Beaver, no Double Diamond, no surprises like that. But the only other not twist, but interesting wrinkle is that they're all not doing the same challenges. So they did save Snatch Game for when they all come back. So none of these 3 groups are doing Snatch Game. So you'll have to see Snatch Game towards the end, which in theory will have the better of the queens. And they're also, but it seems like every one of the 3 brackets has a design challenge. They have some sort of comedy challenge, and then they have some musical, but not maybe a musical thing. So in general, they tried to be as fair as possible. And then the only other thing I will say is that, and we've hinted at this before, the guest judges are fire. Like it is one of the best guest judges they've ever had. Remember, it was a happy time. People thought good things were going to be happening.
Yeah.
It was a good period. But
I
wait,
mean, I think. Oh, go ahead.
but Evan, can we talk about the biggest twist, which we've hinted at on this podcast before?
What is it?
So the biggest twist is they shot this in July. They did these 3 groups, and the queens went away for about a week or 10 days for each of the groups to do the 3 episodes. It doesn't take that long. And then they just came back 2 weeks ago. They waited 9 months. Some of them don't look the same. And I'm not talking filler and plastic surgery.
Right.
Some of them, one of them in particular, is quite thinner, not that much thinner, but like quite thinner than they would have appeared before. So it will be very interesting. They've all had major life experiences since then. And again, just also to be clear, 9 come back. Then they whittle down for 1 more episode after that. And then they get to the finale. And the finale is a lip sync Lollapalooza for the win. So that will be very interesting. And the only other thing that I will tease that we have heard, lots of drama. Lots of drama with these queens. It will be very entertaining. Okay. So what is your reaction to this, Evan?
Well, first off, I mean, the one thing is that we know for a fact at least one of those guest judges is Chapel Rowan, one of the biggest drag fans in the world. She's confirmed that. It was done in her Rolling Stone interview. So whatever song that will be, whatever, it's going to be fucking fantastic. It will be interesting because the rumored cast list, which has not been confirmed as the time we tape this, is interesting because there's, I think, there's a lot of good picks for fan favorites on here. Mm-hmm. Queens who I know for a fact some of these queens have been asked for like All Stars 8 and All Stars 9, and they said no. Some of them are like some season 13 girlies. Some of them are girls who have specifically held off because they wanted to wait for the right moment. They wanted to wait for the right time. So I think a lot of them are playing strategy on here. If the rumors are to be believed, I believe there's at least one queen who has competed 3 times already who's back. So yay, it's not Jujubee. But
wait, 3 times, like 3 times including this, or 3 times before?
If, from what I understand, this might be their 4th time. A ginger queen.
You're right. This is 4.
Yeah.
Oh wow. How could I forget that? Damn.
Well, their exit from All Stars 2 was pretty quick. We'll see.
Yes, that's
But
true.
exactly. But either way, so it's interesting.
And
I'm very curious to see how it's going to play out. The thing that we have to always remember with production of the show, and it's not just true with the US season, but it was with every season, is that they never want to do the same thing twice. And I think that's where the
mhm.
strength of it comes from. The problems is when they always try and correct a mistake from the season previous. As I've talked about before, the Jury of Your Queer Peers twist from All Stars 3 was intended to stop a Roxy Andrews situation from happening again. But the thing is that the cast of season 2 and the cast of season 3 of All Stars were different, so the twist didn't make any sense. The queens weren't alert about it. They would have played the game maybe differently if they'd known that aspect was coming to play. So the fact that this is a different tournament-based bracket thing that's kind of in line with the let's keep them around all season idea, I'm super curious about how it's going to work out. But I do like that so many different fan favorites are coming around, and also some queens, if the rumors are to be believed, there's some girls from season 3 who might be competing this time through, which if so, yeah, I mean, like, it's just the kind of thing I always want to give them a fair shot. And I think All Stars has evolved over the point where you're starting to see more and more aspects given more and more shots to queens who may have been early out, who may have been Serena Cha-Cha'd out of the competition too early, and we're going to get to see more of their stuff. So I'm curious. I think it's a bold format, but ultimately it's the 10th All-Stars. You expect something huge for it. So it's a big
Yeah.
swing. Could be a big miss, but I'm really excited I really hope it works out.
I hope it works out. I will also say there's one queen who I do not believe has not performed in public since the pandemic when they were doing the drag drive-throughs. I don't
Oh.
think she's performed since then. I don't think she's updated her Insta in maybe 2 years. I'd have to double check. But she has a job. She has like a career. And she's well known. She's not from one of the early seasons. But I'm really curious about that. And I will say there are going to be some quote unquote fan favorites who people have been waiting a while for, who may not do as well as you think they're gonna do.
I mean,
And
you know what? As one of my top 10 all-time favorite winners of all time lemon prove, you can be an early out and you can still come back and take it. So let's just be real. If your favorite doesn't make it all the way, there's still opportunities available for them. Speaking of opportunities, before we jump into some of this here,
sure.
we briefly need to talk about some of the international tea that we have, which is
Hmm.
basically, from what we understand, Brazil is going to be coming back real soon. I
Super
can't remember.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, I was just going to say, I feel like we're entering our holiday buying season,
Mhm.
where it's like it just gets super intense, and you go to the mall, and it's super crazy. It's going to be like that for like 4 months.
Yeah.
Brazil should be coming, France should be coming, Spain should be coming. They shot that last November, just no, last October, November. Like, and then by then, Philippine, like it will be boom, 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 boom. UK's already done. Like Canada just finished. Like there will be a lot coming.
Yeah. Will we break our record of 5 concurrent seasons that we recap at the same time? I don't know. We might get there. But the
Do we
one thing I
want
will
to?
will we have a choice? That's the real question. We're really up to the WoW gods at this point, let's be real.
Yes.
But WoW, the one thing you did mention though is that All Stars 10 they took this break and then they came back. And a lot of people clocked that in the most recent episode of US Drag Race, which was the Lollapalooza, that's was the same thing because all of a sudden the queens come back and all of a
Yes.
sudden first off Arietti is looking way more snatched than she was before, but also they're referencing things that happened after the season, specifically Kori King with all of her cameos and Corey Toot and all the other things on there. They brought a lot of girls back for this filming after a lot of time had passed, and in fact when they brought these girls back they also brought Gregory Elwood over to speak to a lot of them. If you want to speak a little bit about what precisely happened with this large filming break, and I don't know, maybe some of the queens that you spoke to that we're gonna about to play some audio clips of.
Yeah. So there was good news and bad news. So the
Okay.
good news is they outside, if everyone remembers, the last live finale we had was season 15 in the
Mhm.
US. And then last year for season 16, because of what happened during season 15, they taped it maybe like 4 weeks after they originally finished shooting season 16. So when they did that lip sync Lollapalooza, there wasn't really time, like there wasn't a real reunion. There wasn't Like nothing had happened. No one had interacted with the fans. Nobody knew who was really popular or not, or how fans would react to stuff. And I don't know if that would have really changed anything in hindsight. Maybe it would have. But in context, this year, they sort of split the difference. So they did not have a live finale this year. They taped it in front of a recruited audience, although there probably are some wow people that like, fan favorites there, I guess, maybe. And maybe family members, etc. But they also did the lip sync Lollapalooza a couple days before, or maybe 2 days before. And that way they could come into the workroom, as you all saw, and could talk about what had happened. So we don't have a reunion. And in theory, that will be a Bring Back My Girls whenever DragCon happens again, which might not, they didn't announce one for LA, which is the only scary thing this year. But, they're making a Drag Race movie, so who knows what's going on. Or WoW's making a drag movie, so maybe that's where their money's going. But they were out at the sound stages they always use. And the day of the finale, they would not let us attend the finale, which sucked. But while it was going on, they set up a red carpet. Some of those photos were actually out today of some of the queens in their outfits. And we came through, and there will be red carpet interviews that will come on. And I went over to this back and I interviewed a bunch of them, some for a good long while and some for just a quick little bit. There was only so much to ask Joella. And some of them were good interviews and some of them were whatever. You could tell that some of them were in good mood and some of them weren't. And you'll be able to hear that in the interviews. But it was really interesting. And it was a great experience. I did not speak to the top 4 purposely because I had already spoken to them in Vegas. And I didn't feel like there was anything else to really ask them individually when you've spoken to them 2 weeks before and they were in the middle of the finale. There was only so much more to ask. Right. And I wasn't really interested in talking to Susie Toot or Lana again, although wonderful people. And by the way, I did not know doing these interviews who won. The only thing you'll find out is that I knew that Lucky gave away that she won her first lip sync, and when you hear our interview, she's super happy that she had a redemption, which is freaking awesome.
I was so happy to see it, quite frankly. It made my heart sing.
And I will say, I've been busy all day today, so I don't know if I haven't seen the images, if they came out of the other queens on the red carpet, or it's only just the top 4. But Lucky's outfit in person was utterly incredible that she made. She worked with a designer on the dress, but the makeup she did was insane in person. And it was great. It was a great experience. And, we're not going to listen to all of them. But before we do, I also spoke to Michelle Visage and to Jamal Sims. And I'm holding those for what I do with the playlist for Emmys in a couple months, those stories. But when I spoke to Michelle Visage, I can't even say her name. It must be Coachella. Michelle Visage. I had to ask her about Drag Race Down Under because there's been no update. We don't know when it's coming back. We don't know if it is coming back. And I believe, Evan, we have a clip of her talking about it.
Yes, we do. And as soon as our wonderful app lets me...
Oh, no worries.
I will do it. It's a very, very brief clip, but it is the official thing that we have to go ahead and let them know. Give me just 2 seconds on my end. There we go. Hold on. Oh my God. You'd think we would have this locked in right now, but it's okay. That's part of the thing. All right, here we go. So here's a clip exclusively of Greg speaking to Michelle Visage specifically to talk about Drag Race Down Under. Here we go.
What's the word on Drag Race Down Under? Have you heard anything?
We're waiting. I haven't heard. I think it's about timing. But yeah, I'm ready to jump. So
you guys did such a great job with that season.
Thank you.
Before we talk about season 17, how did you feel about the reaction to it, especially in Australia and New Zealand, where
very honored. I was very honored. You don't know, all eyes are going to be on you when you're trying to fill the shoes of the juggernaut that is my bestie, RuPaul. So, Ru just said to me, "Girl, I don't need to tell you what to do. Just do. You know what to do. Just do it." And that's what I did, and I lucked into the best cast. They were fantastic, and they were so open to playing with me when they didn't know. And, they could have been like, "Aw, this is not what," and none of them were like that.
Yeah.
They were wonderful.
Yeah.
And they call themselves Mitch's Bitches. And I am honored for my first group of bitches. So, I think we're waiting because there's more than just World of Wonder involved. There's networks and stuff. So we're waiting, and we should know really soon.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Let's talk about season 17.
Let's.
Oh, no.
Nope, we're not going to talk about that. Although that was a fun conversation. Although by the time the Emmy story comes out, no one will care. But I what she's talking about makes a lot of sense. A friend of mine works in the Australian television industry, and I was just with him this weekend, and he was talking about the fact that Stan has actually not greenlit second seasons for a bunch of like non-reality shows, like drama stuff. And it appears as though they may have overextended themselves as a distribution arm and a production arm just with their own financial resources. So it could be that despite it being a hit, that maybe there'll be a break. And also, by the way, to be completely honest, Michelle's booked. She has to now shoot season, what are we on? 18. And then the new All-Star. There will be All-Stars 11. So she's booked for the next 4 months, maybe. And
so if they don't have that locked in already, then it's not.
No. So they would have to shoot it in the fall, which is possible. She might be free. I don't know what.
Say nothing of UK, right?
Well, UK's done. They shoot UK in January.
Got it.
So she's free till, in theory, her falls are usually free, but she might have agreed to do a who knows what. So
Howie's season 4, who knows?
Right. So when she says, that part of it is scheduling, she's serious. But I am hoping that it happens, and it may have just been that Stan waited so long to greenlight it that they're just waiting on her. And by the way, they're not just waiting on her; they're waiting on the World of Wonder producers to be free to go and produce it. That's part of the ecosystem of that franchise.
So you're saying that post you sent me from Courtney Act on April 1st indicating he was co-hosting with RuPaul, you're saying that was some sort of Day of Fools prankery that was not actually true?
Listen, if we know anything, it's that Ru and Courtney Act are like this. Like
they are
they
so
love
tight.
each other. So tight.
Yeah.
So tight. But we should, I did talk to the season 17 queens. And Evan, you have listened to these. Who should we listen to first? Who is the most?
I mean, for me, it's come up with some of my fan favorites immediately stroke out. I mean, admittedly, Greg spoke to a lot of them. Some of them I think are more interesting than others. Some of them we can't actually use for legal reasons. But I will say right off the bat, one of my favorite things to see happen, we just talked about it, was Lucky Starzzz finally getting a comeback arc, winning a lip sync, showing what she could do, looking ridiculous as she always did. She actually was so bright and enthusiastic. I really loved her conversation. Let's jump into it unless you had any context to jump into before we set it up.
All I'll say is that in person, her makeup is utterly incredible, and it's even more impressive when you can see it in person.
She, I think, is someone who strikes me as potentially could be another All-Stars person down the line, even as a first out. But we'll see what happens. And hey, let's dive in.
First of all, this look is utterly incredible. I'm getting to see it up close, which many people on TV will not get to. How many hours of work did it take to make this outfit?
Well, this outfit was constructed by the amazing Nathan Luna in Los Angeles. He created my Meet the Queens outfit as well. We've collaborated, a few times this season, and it's been amazing. Actually, I created the headpiece. I created the face. I added like a bunch of little balls to it. So it's like I created like this fantasy. I created like this concept. I made like this idea, and I talked to him about it. We collaborated, and basically he sketched it out. And that's how we work. And it took, honestly, like a whole month's worth of work.
But you did the headpiece first, and then he did the rest of the outfit.
Well, I created the headpiece completely, and then he made like the outfit.
That's what I wanted to know. The headpiece, how much of your own many hours did it take to make this?
Oh my God, that headpiece, honestly, it took me like a day. You would think, right?
I would think like a week.
Yeah, no, it took me a whole day. I worked on it from start to finish one day, and then I spray painted it here, and I worked. Actually, funny story, I finished this headpiece last night. So can you imagine finishing the headpiece like the night before the finale?
In your hotel room, like trying to...
Yeah. just like outside, you know.
It is. It is so impressive, and I think
Thank
fans were
you.
so disappointed because these looks that you were giving were so incredible. Your run on the show, were you satisfied? Were you upset? Like, how did you feel about like your experience with RuPaul?
My run on the show, I felt very proud, honestly. In the beginning, of course, I felt like a loser for losing so early, but I feel like slowly but surely I'm showing the world the starlight that I have inside of me, and I feel like that's honestly one of the most beautiful parts of the experience. And seeing the fans, seeing all the love around the world, online, it's really allowed me to think of this experience as something beautiful, something magical, something just out of this world. What can I say?
The other thing I have to ask, because, listen, I live in Southern California, and it gets hot and it's warm and it gets sweaty, but I know what Southern Florida is like.
Oh.
How do you do these looks and go out and perform in the humidity? And it's like 90 degrees at night and like humid. Are you just drenched when you're done?
I have no idea how I do it. I got no idea how to do it, girl. No, seriously, I have no idea how I do it. I feel like I'm just used to it. You know, like when you're used to that weather, you kind of just... I used to sweat my makeup off so much, and I used to think that it was because I did bad makeup. But come to realize, girl, it's because I literally live in the sun.
Yes, exactly. And I have to ask, was there any challenges that you, when you watched the show playing back, that you were like, I so wish I could have done this. I would have killed in this. Was there anything that you were desperately upset about missing?
The ball. The ball challenge. I was so excited to create something out of like actual, like unconventional materials. I was excited to show the swimsuit look that I had, this sexy bikini shark woman. I was excited to show my sea slug with giant like hands. I had so many ideas and like so many concepts that I was so excited to show. I also wanted to do an acting challenge because I feel like a lot of people don't expect me to slay an acting challenge, but honey, I get real nasty and real funny and crazy and stupid. So I feel like that's what Drag Race is all about, and I feel like I have like a wild side that I have been dying to let out on camera in an acting challenge. So those two challenges.
Were you confident about your snatch game?
Oh hell no. Who is besides Susie Toot? No, honestly, for Snatch Game, that was the challenge that I was like most worried about.
Really?
But now seeing the rest of the girls and what they did, I feel like I would have done good.
Hormona Lisa was like, oh, if I'd only been there. Watching the show back, obviously you're talking to the queen. She probably knew what the sort of most of the outcome was. What surprised you the most, though, like actually watching it, knowing these girls and seeing them sort of play out?
It was interesting to see like the dynamics after I left, or it was interesting to see like how they interpreted each challenge. Those were the interesting things to me, like seeing just like how their personalities and how the drama and how like just their psyche kind of progressed throughout the season.
So just so you know, these are embargoed. These interviews can't run until after the slate, the Lollapalooza episode. So these run the grand finale week, so you can talk about what happened. I know you guys don't know who won, but you know who the top two is. I'm just curious, what was your experience on the Lollapalooza, and are you happy with it?
Oh my God, the Lollapalooza. Honestly, listen, I am still riding the high of the Lollapalooza because I feel like I got to finally redeem myself from last time. I got to slay a lip sync the way that I wanted to slay it. I got to be myself. I got to wear what I wanted to wear and truly show the world who the hell I am. So I made it to like the semifinals. So it's like, wow, like what the hell? Like I was in the winner's seats with all the winners of the challenges so far. So it's like, I don't know. I felt so proud. I felt so happy. I feel like I redeemed myself and I could not be happier, honestly.
I don't know what the song was that you lip synced to, but did you pick it or did someone else?
I picked it.
And was it an easy choice or was it?
For me, it was easy because I was feeling that song.
Okay.
Can I say the song?
Yeah.
Like the Whitney Houston Step by Step.
Is it the remix? Is it the?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was feeling it so much. I was feeling the message because I felt like I don't know, I'm going through a hard time throughout my life, and I feel like with drag, it was my moment to truly let the emotion out and just feel the song, feel the message, and show the world what I have to offer.
Before they take me away, I just have to ask, how is your neck like permanently sore?
My neck is officially broken. I'm joking.
This must weigh like at least 10 pounds.
Actually, you'll be surprised by how lightweight it is. The hardest thing is how hard it is on my face.
The shell.
Because I
around.
crafted it with foam, and it hardens. After a while, it stiffens. So that's always the hard part. Actually, I'm surprised it even fits.
You didn't. Oh!
I didn't even do a fitting, honey. You know, I just go about and hope for the best because I have the universe on my side.
I hope you have the universe on your side.
Same here.
So, same here. I just want to say really quickly, apologies for everyone listening. That was the one interview where it was the loudest we're recording. Everything should not be as loud moving forward. So apologies if you felt jarred or whatever. I had not listened to it again yet, and apologies. The next time I didn't know when I showed up what the format of how they were
Right.
going to do this was. They'd sort of said it was going to be something else. So it was super loud, even though it was a gigantic cavernous soundstage with a red carpet. And
it worked out just fine. I heard it just fine. It sounded great.
Well, anyway, I do have to say, when you see the photos, and Evan has confirmed that they're out online, it is amazing. Like, the idea she did that the night before blows my mind. But you know, the more I talk to these queens, a lot of them are very procrastinating. Like, they wait really till they're not planners. So
Right.
that's a little shocking to me.
I will say, I think my favorite line of the whole thing was the like, how do you do it in Florida? I don't know, honey. I don't know. But actually, no, I do not know. I do not know how I do it. I thought that was like she just oozes such personality on her. I think she's utterly fantastic. And I think when we did our Meet the Queens recap, she was one who I pegged very early on. And then when her entrance look came in, which she made the night before, like, stunning, absolutely stunning. So I have high hopes for her. Again, if All Stars 10 is to be believed, there is another fan favorite early out that could potentially be on this new cast. So it's not out of the realm of possibility for that to happen.
Oh no, we can just say it. I don't even care. I'll just say it. We need to say it. It's ridiculous because it all makes sense in context.
Right.
So here's the thing. If you don't want to know, like, because it's going to be
Fast forward
announced
20 seconds.
And it's, by the way, this is what's today? It's April 14th. It's going to be announced next week. It's Lydia B. Collins. Like, Lydia makes it. They literally asked her. I was asked to hold my interview with her because I talked to her all about it until after the announcement. If we have time for an episode in it, we'll play it then because it is super fascinating where she talks about it. But she did it, and now in hindsight, I gotta be honest, when I saw the original cast and saw the Meet the Queens, I was like, how is she the one that they took? Like, it never made sense.
100%.
And even for the first 5 or 6 episodes, I'm like, what is going on here? Like, why do they like her? And then towards the end, she sort of came out of her shell, and I got it a little bit more. Yeah. And now, when you talk to her or meet her, it all makes sense. Right. And so they did a good job with editing, although I do think when they recorded the early episode, she was very shy. And I think the story producer sort of got her to come out of her shell. But in case anyone, just to really clarify, she did not get cast because of some weird Kori King tie-in. It is literally just her. Kori is not part of the new All-Stars. It's just Lydia. And to be honest, I do think Lydia took a step back this season and did not go overboard in promotion, although she sort of did her own promotion because she wanted to let her sisters, because she knew she has a whole other journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, though, the one thing is that for those who saw the Lollapalooza, Kori King made it almost to the top. I was pleasantly surprised by her performance. Number one, her mug has improved exponentially. Like, my goodness, it looks like even in the photos that we're seeing right now, the red carpet, like, she is so much more stunned, so much more feminine. It is just so much more stylized. I'm very, very impressed. What did you think of her performance in the Lollapalooza?
I thought she was very good. I thought she made that was good strategy and how it all worked out. I was gonna say she does talk in our interview about how she jokes about how bad her mug was. And we should listen to it, but I do think One of the first queens I talked to when I got there was Hormona Lisa. And if you watch this episode, so keep all our thoughts about Kori just in the back of your head for a second. If you watch the episode, you might have noticed that Hormona did seem like when they were around the round table, like, when they came in the workroom in that episode, maybe not as friendly to like the other queens. Like there was a little bit of like disassociation or snidness or whatever, which by the way, 100% her right.
Right.
And I feel like in our interview, you sort of realize that maybe she doesn't necessarily love her sisters. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't listened to it since I recorded it. But Evan, maybe we should play that and find out.
Let's put it on right now. Let's see.
Yeah.
And again, real quick before you say anything else, thank you, World of Wonder, for setting this up and for getting Greg out there. It was a delight to listen to all of these and get to speak to them too. And we're
thank you, Paramount.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. And also thank you, the audience, for listening, because this wouldn't happen without y'all. And so
by the way, if you like what you're listening to, rate us, share us episode with a friend. Subscribe. Like, the more is coming, we swear.
Absolutely. And Worldwide Tea Podcast on Instagram, and as of today, Worldwide Tea Pod on Bluesky. Make sure you follow us on all the places. We'll have great updates as always. But hey, Hormona Lisa, let's listen.
Gregory.
Nice to meet you,
How
Gregory.
are you doing, Hormona Lisa?
Good.
First of all, you look absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
I have to ask you, how long after you got home did you start working on this outfit? How important was it for you for the finale?
So, I mean, this was like not a late minute like decision, but it was like after the whole sadness thing like happened. I wanted to do like a sad little cloud type of thing. Like, does it make sense now?
Yes.
So it was like, I mean, it kind of was natural because my first instinct, of course, is to do like a pink ball gown or something. But I'm like, I want to do something a little different and maybe not like a mermaid silhouette since I like that. So like, switch it up just a little bit.
How surprised were you when that meme started? Like, had anyone ever mentioned that to you before last year, like when the movie came out, or no?
Well, the movie came out in 2015 and I saw it with my mother.
Yeah.
And she was the first person to tell me that I looked like sadness.
Whoa!
Yes, my mom was like, do you want to wear contacts? And I'm like, why? And she's like, because you kind of look like sadness. So I've known it like my whole life. So it was surprising that it took off like it did, but it wasn't surprising that people like thought I looked like sadness because I've gotten that for years now. So
yes, also I was also gonna say sorry, they are so loud out there. I'm like, it's like is it always a party with the whole cast?
Yes, I think I'm probably the quiet one on the cast, honestly, and that's just because I don't believe in just talking without a purpose, and they all do, of course. So, I like to say things with purpose and like that add to the conversation, not just to hear myself talk. And with a group of people that talk, all the time, it's sometimes hard to get your moment to even have like a little word in edgewise, I think is the saying, but they're fun girls.
They are fun girls. I was also going to ask, I know you've been leaving some of your signature wigs at different venues across the country.
Yes.
Has it been a couple? How many is there a permanent Hormona Lisa wig now?
So I gave one to Roscoe's in Chicago, and then I left one on set here. And I have a couple more, but I haven't given them away yet. I still have some at home.
You have some at home?
I'm wanting to I don't know, like auction one off for a good cause or something one day. So that's why I'm keeping like one like in specific, just in case like a good cause comes up. I don't know.
That's smart. So you go back home, you've gone through the experience of the show. Now that it's been 8-9 months since you shot it and you've seen the reaction on television, how are you feeling about the experience overall?
I enjoyed it. I think that something that anyone that wants to, do Drag Race should always remember is that just because you see yourself one way doesn't mean that someone else or other people will see you the same way. Which, I know I'm annoying because, I've been in my body for 31 years, girl. I'm going to be annoying for the rest of my life, too. But just, I don't know, people thinking that I bragged a lot about things was weird to me because I've never, been told that. In fact, I've been always told the opposite, that I need to, talk myself up more. So for that to be something people thought that I was, just a bragger was really weird, honestly. But,
Was that your big surprise watching the show back?
Well, no, because I didn't think I bragged. I think I just stated facts. bragging to me is like, oh my God, like, I'm so cool. I'm like the best, whatever. And like, I don't do that. So that's what I think bragging is. So I don't know. I still don't see it. I know. I watched it back. I'm like, I want to find one like scenario where I feel like that I bragged, and I didn't find it. So.
Okay, I get it. So obviously you went home earlier in the competition than many of the other queens. Was there one challenge that you wish that you were just, now that you saw the season play out, that you had the chance to participate in?
Snatch Game was always the challenge for me that I've always wanted to do. I would have killed it, and I think it's sad that I went out the episode before, because I would have saved it from being like, a very lackluster Snatch Game this season. But that was like it for me. Snatch Game, and then what else? The musical. I'm a musical theater person, so just like any of the acting. Oh, and the what was it? Ross versus the Ducks too. I wish I would have got to do that, because I would have killed that as well.
And also I was gonna, can you tell us who your Snatch Game character would be? Are you holding it for future All Stars?
I'm gonna do it for All Stars, but I will tell you my backups. I had a couple that I was bringing just in case. Trisha Paytas was gonna be my like sort of last resort, just because it's been done before. And then I was going to do Charlie the Turkey, which is the first turkey to be pardoned by a president. That was in 1987. And then I was going to do Kenneth Copeland. He's like that crazy preacher from Texas.
Yeah.
And then I was also potentially going to do Betty Crocker was the other person that I brought. But then the one that I was going to actually do, I'm not going to say.
I got to say, you had a long list of like characters you prepped.
And they were all like studied too. It wasn't just like, I'm going to just do this. But I will say for RDR Live, the character study that I did for Betty Crocker, I really used it for that challenge too, which was of course like really based on my grandmother and other like Southern women in my life. But yeah, I like studied all the people, and like even little Charlie the Turkey, he had a whole like personality that I developed. It wasn't just me like trying to be funny. It was like a whole like persona. So
these interviews are embargoed until the week the finale runs. So this won't be able to run until after the Lollapalooza runs, which has happened, which I don't know what happens, and you don't have to tell me, but I'm going to say, was it what you expected? Was it fun? Like, what was your experience with that?
It was a little different than I expected, because it's so fast. Like, I don't know, like whenever you perform these songs like in the club, it sometimes can feel like that you're just like going on forever. But it's like the music started and then it was over. Like it was really like jarring how quick it went by. I don't know. And then like when the music starts too, like my mind just goes blank every time. Like so there's not even real point for me to like have like choreo or whatever, because I'm not going to remember it. And if I do try to plan something in a lip sync, I get like really, I don't know, like overwhelmed with like, oh, I gotta do it. And then the song is over and you're like, oh shit, it's over. So yeah, it goes by so fast.
So over these past, I guess now 3 months, you've got to tour around the country, go to different like venues and stuff. What has been your best or most memorable experience meeting fans, going out and performing?
I think something that happens a lot, like in meet and greets, is people come dressed like me. Like they'll come with a little like, give me to start over.
No, I think we're good.
Okay. People will come to meet and greets dressed like me. So they'll have like glasses on and like a little sweater. And sometimes they have a bob. Like that is really like special to like bond with other bob people. Because I meet them all the time. And it's like, I don't know, it's the best thing. Because the first time that happened, I was like, is this person like dressed as me, or is this how they just look? And I was like, oh, I love this. She's like, well, I dressed as you. So it was like, it's really exciting. Like, it's really special.
Oh, that's freaking awesome. And then lastly, I was curious, what, now that this part of the Drag Race experience is over and you've gotten all this notoriety, what do you want to do next in your career? What is like your big one goal?
So this year in the fall, I'll be doing a one-woman show for a couple of cities that I wrote myself. It's called Seasonal Depression. And I'm actually doing it as Sadness is what I'm doing it as. And then actually I have a song called Seasonal Depression that I'll be releasing in a couple of weeks from now too. So,
well, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I totally enjoyed your run on the show. You are delightful and stunning. You are absolutely stunning in person. You look amazing.
You're so sweet.
Thank you so much. And
I mean, no lies were told. If you've seen the look, she looks beat as all hell.
Mm.
I mean, love it too because she's also just very. She's very cognizant of herself. She actually might be one of the more self-aware queens on the season. Truth be told, like I think there was a little bit of delusion at the end there when obviously she's a little bit sad to go, but since then I think she has a firm idea of kind of how things went a little bit. I will say though, obviously, we want to keep this podcast at a reasonable rate, so I don't think we're going to get to every single person that Greg spoke to as well. But if you just want to briefly, if you wouldn't mind recapping some of the other queens that we
Yeah.
may have to skip over to,
Yeah.
if unless you had any other final thoughts on Hormona.
No, I just the only other thing I want to say about Ramona is there's two things. Is like I had not listened to it back yet, but her quote saying about how some people that a lot of them just love to talk, I thought was sort of wild. Like they're drag queens, like, and they're on television. I don't know what she was expecting. And she's been a queen for a while, so it's not like she's not around drag queens. And then the other thing is, I do think out of all the queens so far and everything that they've all talked about doing, and to be honest, I'm slightly concerned that many of them don't seem to have like postseason plans. Like, I don't really understand what their plans are next after the show. I did think that her already having it, like she's a planner, like already outside of not getting her, outfit ready until like a month ago or whatever. But to have a one-woman show ready to go next in the fall, to already have some cities booked, to know that she's going to do it on Sadness, which is smart marketing. Like it's really, it shows that like, oh wow, you realize I'm going to take this and go with it. And I think I am a little concerned that some of the queens who don't have regular gigs, like for example, we're about to talk to listen to Kori King and Crystal Envy together. Crystal's got like a home bar, like she's got a whole gig in New Jersey. If she had never been on Drag Race, she would still be paying her bills and she's all good. Kori has like milked this cameo thing for a while. She's gonna at least have a good 6 to 8 months, of gigs, and then she'll try to get on All Stars, or maybe she'll become a WoW celebrity and start doing a lot of WoW. Yeah, exactly. They always want new people coming on and stuff. But some of the rest, I'm a little worried about them. Like I'm a little worried about like that they won't get the opportunities that, I don't want to say were easy, but like opportunities that came to queens that maybe over the past 5 years when Drag Race really exploded, that they might not get now because we're in a different time. And I think people are going to realize when Pride comes around that there's a lot less sponsorship. There's a lot less money to hire queens and event like stuff. So I'm slightly worried. And there's been this online, I don't mean to go down this tangent, but there's been this discourse online about how queens have been complaining about like how the gigs have dried up. Well, they've dried up, but also nothing lasts forever. And there's a lot of reality stars and stars of The Voice and, American Idol and whatever. And they get a lot of gigs. And then 5-6 years later, if you're not a star, there's actors who had gigs in the aughts and tens who just can't get gigs now. Like, and you saw them on television every week. So it just happens. But I'm more worried about this cast than I have for a lot of them. That's just my personal take.
I remember on the Whatcha Packin' for one of your picks for Global All Stars casting, which was Nitra. And how like, I remember Michelle being like, you better have, like, is there a Walk This Fucking Duck merch ready to go? And she's like, there's discussions, but then as far as I know, nothing really came about. And obviously she left and kind of came back a little, but she's like one of those, man, you had a catchphrase, you had the audience love behind you. Like, I understand that the pressures are different for everybody, but it obviously feels like an opportunity was kind of, like just didn't really happen there. I mean, next thing you know, you could end up on Big Brother UK, like Danny Beard did, or maybe you could be dismissed from Big Brother UK, like Oscar-nominated actor Mickey Rourke. Like it's a different journey for everybody. Is all I can say. But yeah, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, I do think that first of all, Anitra, again, another tangent. Like there is literally a documentary about what happened over the past 3 years that 1,000 people would like to see, but I'm one of those 1,000 people. Yeah. I still think that there's a shot for her to come back, like down the road. But people move on. Like just one really interesting just side note is, I had not, Milk had commented on some post on something, and I had not seen what Milk was up to for a while. So I'd seen Milk had been like at an event, like a HRC or like Glad event or something, or maybe it was a fashion show in New York like a couple months ago, and was doing their look, but sort of like more boy, androgynous sort of thing. And I went, and Milk has been, over the past couple years, has been an ice skating coach and performing in adult competition. So there's like adults, it's not whatever the governing body of, ice skating is in the United States. I forgot what the name of it is. So it's not the amateurs that go to the Olympics, but you get to over 25 or whatever, and you can join this, and it's still a thing. You can be the national champion for over whatever age it is. Performing in drag in the men's competition, like, and killing it. Like,
That's
made
awesome.
a final, and so many of them keep the drag as part of their lives, but maybe we're just not seeing them on our Insta or feeds, because how many queens have there been? Like, the algorithm can only handle so much.
Right. Exactly. And as we all know, I'm still waiting for the day when my girl, Calorie Kardashian Williams, makes her return.
Calorie.
The first season I ever saw outside of All Stars 3, and I was like, I'm sorry, her name is what? Anyway, God bless. As always, we support all drag here. But hey, we also support Kori King and Crystal Envy. And from what I understand, this might have been one of your favorite ones that you got to do on the day.
Oh, love them. So fun.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, I guess. First of all, you both look absolutely stunning.
Thank
and
you so
beautiful.
much.
Have to ask, how soon did you start working on your outfits when the season was over, or was it like after January 1st, after the show aired, like you didn't even think about it?
For these looks?
Yes.
So this look I actually had during filming. This was my original black and white runway that I didn't get to wear, so I figured I would bust it out for the finale and wear it for the finale.
It looks stunning.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
What about you?
I got mine a month ago. Because obviously I had nothing left in my closet, my love. So I got this a month ago by a designer in New York named Beck Jones, and kind of ate it up real fierce. Oh, God.
Oh, we need. Okay, I guess we have to be slightly quieter.
Okay, good.
Don't. Sure. Your both of you had insanely memorable runs on the show.
Thank
you
you so
both went
much.
home too early. You definitely went home way
Thank
too early.
you.
I have to ask, now that it's all over, or almost over after today.
So close.
So close. How do you feel about your run on the show, each of you?
I'm really proud of what I got to showcase. I feel like I did what I do my best, and I did it at a 10 out of 10 level. I do think it was cut a little too early, because I definitely had a lot more to show. However, things happen for a reason, and my time will come.
Your time will come. What about you?
I feel good. I feel good about my run. I mean, I looked hideous, so I'm happy that I left sooner than later, I will say. And at least my wife sent me home, so I can't be mad at that.
And also, I have to ask, how did you feel about the criticism from some of your Ru sisters, like about the hairline, which looks absolutely stunning today?
Thank you.
She clocked in tonight.
I clocked in tonight, sister.
Was it too much? Did you feel like they went overboard?
No, girl, keep talking about me. I love the airtime. Honestly, I would never stop someone from talking about me. I love to be talked about, negative or positive. So please, keep my name in your mouth. I need to maintain relevancy. No, but seriously, I agree with them, so there's nothing I'm mad at. So no, yeah, they're right. I would never take that seriously, no.
But this is what I don't understand. You are very close with Plain Jane, or good friends. Did she never say anything?
Ever.
No, I think she wanted her to look a mess.
The
girl.
bitch wanted me to fucking fail and falter. That's why
She didn't want her to look better.
that's why she's gaining weight, and soon she'll be the big sister.
The big beluga whale.
Karma's the bitch.
I mean, I did just see her at Drag Race Live. So
And she looked Not big.
Bigger.
Whoa. Well, there's ways to quickly alleviate that, as everybody knows. I have to ask you, how shocked were you the episode that you went home? How frustrated were you? Like, did you feel like it was fair? Like, what would...
No, girl, no. No, I don't think it was fair at all, personally. Listen, if I want to be jaded, I'll be jaded. I definitely think that it wasn't my time. I was doing really well in the competition. I also don't think I was the worst that day, personally. So I don't even think I should have been bottom 2. Definitely maybe bottom 3, bottom 4. but I don't think I should have been bottom 2 that day. And if I was bottom 2, I think I should have stayed.
What about you?
Do you agree?
How did you feel about your elimination episode? Did you feel it was fair? Did you
Thank
feel like
God. Back to me. Though. Definitely fair. Oh, absolutely. I look like shit. Poo poo caca do shit. Yeah. No,
what was that?
It was
what
terrible.
was that dress?
It was hideous. I just looked a mess. No, I deserve to go home. I deserve to get. Honestly, I shouldn't have even walked the runway at that point. There was like, you know, when something's so bad, I didn't deserve to be on the stage. I didn't deserve to be on the stage that night, and they should have just sent me home before I walked the runway.
Just save you the trauma.
Honestly.
So I have to ask this. It's not in the edit, but every time your fellow queens have been like doing interviews when you did the week in New York and other stuff, and they'll say, "Who's the queen who's like the sluttiest of the season?"
Yeah.
They say you.
The
But
sluttiest?
yeah.
Okay.
But I haven't seen. But the edit didn't like give any of that away.
Well, listen, I don't show my goodies on camera like that.
Were you
girl,
surprised? Did you see any of that?
No, I'm not a slut. I just like to look like a slut.
Oh, maybe that's.
And
What
I
it
think
was.
that's, people get a wrong perception of me. You know, do you think I'm a slut, Corey?
No. The slut is definitely Arietti, so I don't know why
Yeah.
we're getting.
Arietti's the...
Or Sam. They're kind of neck and neck sometimes.
And
Oh.
I do have to ask for that because you guys were both not there. What was your reaction? You obviously had heard about what had happened, but when you saw the roast episode,
Oh, girl.
Oh.
On that wall, I was sickening.
That-
I lived. I
was
love.
good.
I love good TV, and maybe that was good.
That was good TV.
I enjoy it.
It got the people talking, and it got people angry, and I think that's what makes good television.
It was delicious.
and I also got to ask for the challenges you guys missed. Is there one you wish you had been there for that you were most excited about doing?
Oh, I wish I did the Rusical, the episode after I left. I would have
Oh, yeah.
ate that shit the fuck up. I would have ate. My runway was sickening, and
Yeah.
maybe I love a good theater. And The Wicked Wizard of Oz, girl, give it to me.
I probably would have loved to do the roast. I would have loved to roast Plain and Mistress and Candy. So that would have been.
Oh
that
my
would
gosh,
have been
that's
so
right. She
good.
was there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And didn't you like see each other at the airport or something?
At this point, did we? I'm like,
Oh.
what the fuck is going on? I probably did at this point. Yeah, she literally probably walked in as I walked out. I was like, ugh. Oh, well, let her have it. So definitely the roast.
And then last but not least, like what you guys are both doing so well in your careers, but
Thank
a
you.
year from now, what would you like to be doing? Like, what is most important for you in your drag career moving forward?
I think I might just be like a monk and start living in the woods or something.
That's
I don't believe
crazy.
that.
Yeah, something new.
You're Buddhism.
Yeah.
No, Corey, no.
Oh wait,
all
I gotta
these
ask
things.
this: how soon is someone doing Parker Posey on Snatch Game? Is it gonna happen like
It
in
needs
5
that.
minutes?
Season 18 girls, clock
Who's
in.
that?
Oh, it's the mom on
Corey
White
doesn't-
Lotus who does the.
Corey doesn't really know much about
I don't
pop
watch
culture.
TV.
She might be in pop culture, but she don't know much about it.
Yeah, I don't watch TV or film. I kind of just like.
You've seen it
Live.
online. It's like Piper, no. He hasn't seen it.
No, she only pays attention to herself.
Yes.
If
There's
she's
a
not
lot
looking at her
going on
number
here
one,
already.
if she's not fighting for the number one cameo spot against Nikki Blonsky, it doesn't matter to her.
Honestly,
Wait,
yes.
that is my one last question for you. Is it more profitable just to do cameos than to like get booked around the country?
The
I mean,
cameos seem
yes.
like a lot more.
Actually, yes. But now it's more or less like my side quest at this point. It's like, you know the game like Candy Crush? Like,
Yeah.
Cameo is my Candy Crush. Like, how can I improve myself and get to a higher level on this game? I'm like, I will be doing more characters because I want to top myself at this point. Now I'm just in competition with myself. Not just Nikki Blonsky, but myself with Cameo, for sure.
But you didn't tell me what you want to be doing.
I definitely will not be becoming a monk. I will leave that to you, my brother. I will be working really, really hard and dedicating myself to the art form of drag. I have a few things up my sleeve that I want to have, come out within the next year or so. Pay close attention to my YouTube channel, more makeup tutorials coming out, and then who knows, maybe a little, Crystal Envy makeup brand one day. We'll see. We'll see.
That'd be
I'll
awesome.
be diving into the world of cosmetics.
Go for it.
Hell yeah,
So-
baby. Hell yeah.
So first of all, just really quickly, if you can't tell, because I feel like it didn't come across in the show edit, they're very good friends. Like they were hanging out like
Yeah.
by themselves, and that's why I interviewed them together. So they're not BFF, but they're buddies. And I listening back, the two things that popped to me that I'd forgotten about was there's only two of them that hinted that they might be on All Stars. Hormona Lisa and her. Crystal hints like at the beginning, like she says it like really. So I'm curious what that meant.
Mhm.
And then also I do have to say I did not love Kori on the season. Like her confessionals, I just didn't like connect with her. And she is so humble and she's having fun in our combo.
Right,
But she was
obviously.
very down to earth and like humble and like honest about like how she looked. And on the show she wasn't. And I sort of wish she'd been a little more like she is in real life than the persona she put on the show. What did you think?
I mean, it's the thing where seeing yourself on TV will change you, and that's why, like, genuinely, her mug during the Lollapalooza, like, and the fact that also even her lip syncs, like, you think about the Buttons shitty lip sync that she barely won when she was doing initially, and then the lip sync that she did that got her all the way to the top. I low key thought she should have won personally, but like low key, it's the thing where you could tell. I'm not sure if it's just gigging or if it was just the work that she did on Cameo because she puts in the work. Not it looks
Yeah.
all goofy and silly, but like to deliver that level consistently is a deal. Like just that practice, that 10,000 hours, it really started to show through, and she looks like she's a better queen on the other side of it too. So I
Yeah.
think the fact that she knows that she's better, she can look back and be a little bit more honest and humble. Like, yeah, that was cuckoo caca. Like, I feel like she has a lot more real world experience than I think some of the other queens did. Not every queen can do cameos the way she did. I have you ever received any Drag Race cameos, Greg?
Yes,
Who
I
have you
have.
gotten?
I got during the pandemic, I got Bob the Drag Queen from my friends, and they still to this day in our thread, our message thread, they will take the first clip of it where it's Bob going, "Hey Greg, how are you doing?" And they'll send it to me all the time.
I love
I
that.
need to find it and send it to you.
Oh my God, yes, please, absolutely do. I did get one of Roxy Andrews for a friend some time ago who was obsessed with her right before her All Stars run, and someone got me during the pandemic a Jimbo related one, and it was fucking hilarious, fucking absolutely incredible. I've been a fan of her for since the first season, but it was really really great to see.
During I think during UK, I bought Jimbo for two friends. So I don't know if Jimbo's been doing it recently, but during UK versus the world, I did Jimbo. It was very funny.
My friend who sent the write-up referenced my last podcast I did with my husband for several years, the Chartographers, where we ranked entire album discographies, and
Oh,
in it,
wow.
Jimbo's just like, you're a cartographer, you're doing maps, and I don't know shit about shit, Evan. And it was just one of the best things it's ever had. But hey, thank you so much, Greg, for getting on the ground, getting that pre-cameo interview work done for all these great queens. It was really lovely to see. Again, thank you, everyone. The finale's next week. I'm sure we will have thoughts on it, and we will be jumping back
It's
into
this
things
week. It's this
soon.
week.
Yeah,
It's
this week.
Friday.
This week. It's coming
It's
soon.
Friday.
By the
Yeah.
time you hear it,
I-
we may have already announced it. We may have already announced
mean-
Anya Nerve is the winner of Drag Race.
Let's hope so. But Evan, before we go, I do have to say, I think maybe our next episode, even though we don't want to focus on the US, we might have a Meet the Queens like reaction to All Stars 10 coming way sooner than we think. And we might have, hopefully before you go on a big trip and I go away for work, a Meet the Queens for Brazil. So fingers crossed, everyone. Like
Absolutely.
it's happening sooner rather than later.
And we're gonna get into gear, and once it starts, it ain't gonna stop, baby. It's gonna be constant. But before we go, the last thing we always do at the end of every episode, Greg, who is your pick for Queen of the Week?
So here's the thing, Evan. Mike, you know what? I like to be mysterious. I like to give listeners little hints. I want them to be like, why would this person pick this queen? My queen of the week, who has an international connection, a very big international connection, is Athenadion. Athenadion is Morphine Love Dion's mother. She is also one of my favorite queens, Juicy Love Dion's drag brother. She's based primarily in Miami, but she is of Greek descent, and she took over being the host, top queen, I don't know what you would call it, at the famous Jackie O's club and bar in Mykonos, which used to be the home, and the top queen used to be Priscilla, who is the host of Drag Race Italia. So after when Priscilla got the first season of Italia, she could not do Mykonos anymore. She couldn't do Jackie O's, and Athena came in. And Athena had been doing stuff on the side. I think at some other bars. Athena is super well known in Miami, and most of the year is in Miami, but then we'll spend 3 or 4 months in Mykonos. I feel like 2 years ago there were photos of her, like 2 summers ago. Matt Damon and Chris Hemsworth were there, and like it was a whole thing, and like it was, so she's gotten all, like there were photos like on TMZ of like, you know, Matt Damon and Chris Hemsworth with drag queens, and it was with athenadion. So she is the only way I can describe her is she's sort of the Morgan McMichaels of Miami, but without the splits. Like she's younger than Morgan. She's only, I think she's early 30s, but maybe mid 30s. But I'm just saying, maybe pay attention to athenadion. Maybe there's a reason to pay attention. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
and follow her. She's also, by the way, super fun, great host. If you're ever in Miami, I believe they're at our house, meaning the the letter R house. I think that's the name of the venue that they're at, which they do a big drag brunch, and then they have Friday and Saturday night drag nights. But it's like a restaurant / bar.
Nice. Well, I'm excited.
Who's your pick? Yeah.
My pick for this week is going to be a trans idol out of Victoria, BC. This week I'm going with henriettadubet. She is actually, she performed recently at that Juno's performance as well, and she's actually, I can't tell if she's the exact sister of, but she is heavily involved with Vivian Vanderpuss and her whole aesthetic and vibe over there. She's been owning some of the local bars. She's been running it for over a decade at this point now. She recently had a 10-year celebration at one of them too. I would describe her drag aesthetic as very, not fully Jimbo inspired, but it is like crash test dummy outfits. It is oversized boobs, it is comedy, and it's also very regional too. She's shown up at a lot of local events and openings and things. It's absolutely hilarious, and she is going to be my pick for this week. I think we're going to throw her link on there, on the Instagram, on our newly launched Bluesky, on all the places. So the only thing we ask of you, dear audience, is that if you could please follow us in any of those places, leave us that review on the various podcasting outlets. That would be fantastic. And do not worry, we are going to be back before too long, rest assured.
You will be sick of us. I swear. There will be so much coming. Swear to God.
Exactly. 900 seasons at the same time. Get ready. We were going to be wow in my eyelids as I sleep. It's the only way to catch up. Either way, thank you as always, Greg. I hope you have a great night, and listeners, thank you as always. You'll hear more from us soon.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye. Leave a good lipstick message. All right. Goodbye.